All right, last topic, y'all. Kobe Bryant. I thought this was kind of funny because JJ Redick, this wasn't his media day. This was a couple of weeks ago. I think he was getting interviews somewhere at UCLA, some event they had at UCLA. He took interviews, and they asked him what he learned his first year as a coach. And man, y'all gotta hear what he said.
I think the biggest thing for me is just having the ability to properly turn it on and off, and also recognizing. And I've always recognized this. Like, not everybody is wired like Kobe. I'm not saying I'm wired like Kobe, but I'm not everybody's like wired like Tom Brady or Kobe, or you got to kind of meet guys where they are, and that doesn't change the standard or expectation for them, but having a little bit of empathy on that.
What you learned your first year as a head coach, you got to have empathy for players and meet them where they are, because not everyone is wired like Kobe Bryant. That's a unique thing to say. And what do you think he's implying? And do you think that's implying something for the other guys, not named Luka or LeBron, or you think that's something for Luka and LeBron?
I think it's something for Luka and LeBron. I think that there's been a lot of narratives about Kobe over the last several months and in the off season. And I think that this is sort of like a way to not get Kobe fans off of his back, maybe off of like to create some sort of calming of those waters potentially. And I also think that I think who it matters for is for Luka and LeBron. That's what I think. But I do think that if he were asked to specify who he was talking about, that he would say it's just for anybody. It's a generalization that he was making about the team. But the fact is that like we're not going to be comparing Kobe Bryant to DeAndre Ayton. We're not going to be comparing him to Bronny James. We are comparing his mentality, his work ethic to the likes of LeBron James, to Luka Doncic. So it doesn't really even matter what JJ thought. But I just thought it was funny that he said that you need to be able to meet people where they're at, even though there's still a standard. So it was almost like a double-edged sword that he's saying. Like, oh, I'm going to meet these people where they at. They don't want to work out. Well, I'm going to try to figure out, to me, like you either meet the standard or you don't. This is the standard that you're working to. And if you can't, if I can't have the best team, then I don't want you on my team. And
do you think he came into the organization thinking something different and then realizing, they ain't built like Kobe? Do you think he thought Luka and LeBron was built like that at first, and then he found out they wasn't? Like that's a unique thing to say. I mean, that's a weird thing to say when you're asked what you learned about your first year.
No, I think it was this.
I don't think, but also Mel, I don't even think that he knows what Kobe is like. He
got smoked, but he played against him and got smoked.
But what I'm saying is, like, what has he even done? He's only gone to the finals one time in his career and got swept by Kobe Bryant, right? But it's just like not everybody has the mentality of Kobe, like, and he's saying, and I don't. So how are you going to meet people where they're at if you don't even know how to coach to that mentality, because you don't have it. You don't have it. You never did. You just said, I'm not saying I'm wired like Kobe. Well, we know you're not. So how do you haven't done anything. You haven't accomplished anything. You haven't even played alongside anybody that's accomplished anything. He's only played with serial losers. So how do you know how to I guess he knows how to meet serial losers where they're at. And that's why they're going to continue to be a first round knockout.
I think he took this job, man, really thinking that he could evoke change. And he got there and found out day one that your door says head coach, but this ain't your team. And then mid-season, there was a trade, and it was like, well, you're further down the totem pole, JJ. This wasn't your team, and it damn sure ain't your team now. We're gonna listen to the guy that's balding, and then we're gonna listen to the fat guy, and then we'll come to you and tell you what we're gonna do. And it's a culture shock, man. I don't think he thought that going into a head coaching job it would be this. So I think that he's like, well, that whole statement was kind of, I would say, almost dog whistle to, hey, I got to work with what I'm given because I don't really have any power.
Dang, Jay, really?
Man, I tell you what, you got league pass and stuff like that. So a lot of times during the commercial, they don't go to commercial. Just watch him doing the huddle. That motherfucker call up a play. They look over to some balding guy, and he's like, fuck that. This the play.
But you know what, though? I don't think he came there to evoke change. Jay, I think that he's there to be the coach's version of a Kai Cenat. He had a podcast. They gave him a 4-year extension in this offseason for absolutely no reason. And the answer for it when they were asked, so he gets knocked out in the first round. He already had a 4-year deal. So he was signed on to the Lakers for a 4-year deal. He's signed with the Lakers right now for 8 total seasons. And the Lakers refused to commit to Darvin Ham, who took them to the Western Conference Finals in their first season. So what they're committed to, or the change that he's trying to evoke, is just them getting back to not being about their results, them being about who looks like them, who they like, who they want to put in cushy roles and jobs. Like they at one point had Kurt Rambis as the coach. I mean, Luke Walton as the coach.
But what we know about JJ Redick is he no ball. You know what I'm saying? JJ Redick has a really. He was coached by the greatest of all time.
Girl, no. He
was coached by the greatest of all time, the absolute best coach that ever walked God's planet. He was coached by. So he knows basketball in and out.
Jay, can you start laughing now?
No, I'm serious. There's no way that you are Coach K's teacher's pet and you don't learn basketball.
Okay, that might very well be true. Let's just roll with that, right? But he still was signed on to an additional 4 years where Darvin Ham could not even make it out of the second season. Hold on.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
No, I'm just saying he accomplished more, right? So you said why, why is he there? He thought that he was going to evoke change in the first season. I mean, he is there to evoke change. You're right, but not within the team. It's just it's a culture wave in the league. They want to have younger coaches. No, listen, they want younger coaches. So the Lakers, they're leading the charge in having, the young social media like coach, the influencer coach. That's what JJ Redick is. He's an influencer coach.
And
He's
again,
not there to win and accomplish anything.
So imagine him finding that out once his foot is in the door. He came to coach basketball. He wants to, but you ain't gonna turn it down.
You think he really believed that though? He was a coach like 4th graders.
Absolutely, but the man knows basketball at a high level. So that's what he
could have. The only reason why I'm pushing back, Jay, and a little hard is because he came out and said they had a press conference over his extension. Rob Pelinka talked all about why he was supporting him. Hey, we're standing by JJ Redick. Doesn't matter if he has failures or not. He's our guy. And JJ Redick responded with, hey, he basically said, and he didn't exactly say this, but hey, I know that I don't really deserve it. As a first-year coach, I was offered this extension. This is not lost on me. He actually, for a moment, had a brief moment of humility for whatever that looks
Dominique,
like.
Why did they give him the extension?
They like him
because he played ball. He did. He put his
Darvin Ham played dreams. Ball. Darvin Ham played ball and actually coached a team that won a title. What do you mean no?
No, Darvin Ham said winning is more important than this shit y'all want me to do. And they said you won't win here and sent them out the door. JJ Redick said, what else you want me to do? All right, I can do that.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
And they rewarded good boy. They rewarded him with 4 more years.
I mean, he is doing the extra stuff, man. He looks the part. He continues to lie about Bronny.
But no one's gonna. And Mel, you know this, and you know how I've studied JJ Redick's career since high school. The man really knows basketball, but again, he's not bigger than doing the job for the bread. He's not bigger than that.
Yeah, he with the fuck games, man.
Yeah, he
You
with
know,
the program. He definitely with
yeah,
the
yeah.
program.
Yeah,
Oh, what else y'all want me to do? Go out there and say, well, hell, call them idiots. Oh, well, y'all idiots. What else, guys? That was easy. I didn't even break a sweat.
Yeah, he definitely playing the game. I don't think Darvingham wanted to play, man. Like, no,
Darvingham
man.
wanted to coach
I need
basketball
that
and
roster
nothing.
spot for a player, man. we're not drafting Bronny, man. No, I'm not making the season about the father-son, Ken Griffey 2.0. No, we're not doing that, man. Yeah, but yeah, JJ, I can do both.
JJ told me my eyes was aligned. He told me Bronny was an excellent player. I was like, damn.
He's still telling you that too.
I must have missed something. I know what excellent looks like. He didn't even say good. He said excellent.
I give him excellent just for the heck of it. I mean, since we throwing words around, why not? I mean, it ain't gonna hurt me none. He's excellent.
Dude,
I give it to him.
Superfluous.
Their big offseason pickup was Aiden, bro. This team ain't serious about shit.
All right. Jay, Mel, Chris, I do have one question. What standard do you think that JJ Redick was saying that there is?
Well,
it's the tone at the top, and JJ Redick ain't the top.
Well, listening to the interview, he talked about standard of fitness, and he was talking about everybody needs to be in championship shape. He said that at the exit interview. He said it again at the media day. And
something happened because they gave Luka Ozempic over the off season, and he came back looking all right.
Yeah.
And since we've been here, they calling it 2 to 3 weeks that Brian about to be out.
I heard 4 weeks.
I just looked it up. It might have
2 to
been
3 for sciatica.
It might have been 3 to 4.
Yeah.
But I just looked it up because the Eagles about to blow another one. Yeah, 3 to 4 weeks. My bad. I'm sorry.
Well, but Dom, that question kind of segues to something else that JJ said. And this was at the media day. This wasn't at the same event he was at UCLA. This was at media day. They asked him about the philosophy of the team. And this is what I was alluding to earlier in the show.
Steve Win with the LA Times. JJ, following up on what you said earlier about philosophy and methodology. What were kind of your takeaways of where you are as a coach early in your career in terms of those two things, philosophy and methodology?
Philosophy. I think it's just continued growth for how I want this team to play. And I want to be clear, that's not how I want to play. Like, a job as a coach is to figure out what is best for the group. And I think methodology, that was a lot in the self-assessment, and then a lot in talking with Sean McVay, spending some time with Tom Brady this summer. It was about figuring out what's the best way. How did Belichick do this? How does Sean do this? Obviously talked to a ton of NBA coaches, was fortunate to spend 2 days in Chicago a couple of weeks ago, and picked a bunch of coaches' brains on some things. So again, it's really just about continued growth for myself, for my staff. And I feel like we all are in a good place to serve this basketball team and our players.
So it sounds like to me he's going to be submitting to Luka ball, and his words was the way our philosophy is what's best for this group to play, not necessarily what I want to do.
He just told you. I don't have a say. I'm doing the job.
Did you catch that? Did you catch that part? Though?
That's
he said not necessarily what I want to do. Did you hear it?
Yeah, I thought that. I just think he's doing word salad, like you like to say, Mel. He's trying to leave some room to get away with things.
Is that how you see it, Chris? Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. I thought you were done.
No, I just think he's trying to be able to deflect some responsibility from himself in moments. I mean, we beat him up really bad in the postseason for not putting in his bench, so I'm curious to see what's going to happen. I just think he's full of it, and we all know that what might be best for the team. Is it what's best for the team? Is it what's best for the organization, or is it what's best for Luka? He's going to do whatever Rob Pelinka tells him to do. Period.
Yeah, and I think that's Luka ball. I think he realized, man, I'm trying to coach a certain way, and I don't think that's gonna be best for. And I hate that these coaches have these great philosophies on how they want to run their team on their offense, and then get a player like Luka LeBron and realize I can't do it with him based on what his skill set is or based on what his weaknesses are. I have to do it that one way that only works for them, and everyone else has to figure out how to fit around it. I hate that. And that's what Jason Kidd was doing. That's what Rick Carlisle was doing. That's why he left Dallas. And I think that's probably why Jason Kidd, even though he loved Luka, is probably happy that he get to do something else with other players because they fit what he want to do. But Chris, is that how you see it when he said it's not necessarily what I want to do, but what's best for the team? I never thought I ever hear Phil Jackson say, "Oh well, the triangle offense is what I want to do, but these guys just can't learn it, so we just gotta figure out what works for them." Like I can't imagine hearing that from no Popovich or Pat Riley or Phil Jackson. But go ahead, Chris. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, that tells you the kind of caliber coach he is. I feel like since JJ has come in to be the coach, he has said a lot of, questionable things that we would say, like, I don't think a coach should or would say that. And I mean, we all know, that any LeBron team and now any Luka team, and now that you got both of them on the same team, the coach is just there to hold a position and hold a clipboard and look pretty, right? Obviously, it's those two guys that are calling the shots. But to actually come out and say, like, you still have to have JJ needs better media training, in my opinion. I think he still talks as if he's a player. And now that you're a coach, you got to understand, like, sometimes you just need to go in there and lie. Sometimes it's just probably the better option to lie, and say that things are coming together. Say that y'all are working on, whatever. But to say I don't really, it's not. I'm just whatever.
Well, that's not what he was saying. I think what he was saying is, they asked about the philosophy on the team, and more than likely it's the offense. And he basically said, yeah, our philosophy is gonna be geared around what's best for the team, not necessarily what I want to do, right? And I think that's code for something. Like, what are you saying? Like, I've never heard a coach say what I want to do as a coach and what my philosophy is might have to adjust because of the personnel, and I can't do it because they can't do it. I got to do what's best for them.
I think he's secretly saying that the team is not built how he wants it to be built. The team is not built how he envisioned it to be.
Okay.
So he has to do what he has to do with what he has.
I don't know. And it's so funny because I always wonder, and I go to a place where him and Rob Pelinka actually set up LeBron James. I go to a place where JJ Redick was pegged as Rob Pelinka's guy, and they are like snaking LeBron out of here. That's an idea that I have. I don't know it to be true. I can't prove it, but that's what I've always thought. And so, and there's moments where I see him and he's talking and I'm like, wow, maybe he really didn't know he was going to get this team. He thought that he was going to be, just riding this thing out with LeBron, with him being the focus. Mm-hmm. And so I think that because of how LeBron plays Rob Pelinka, Jeannie Buss, the ownership, they just figured that if they brought over Luka, that he'd have no problem with riding off into the sunset with him because his play style is very similar. Obviously, LeBron James is more athletic, can jump, can dunk the ball, things of that nature. But play style is very similar. So it's just, think about JJ Redick, right? And think about Chris, something that you said is really important. Mel, something you said is really important. He said that not everybody's going to be like Kobe Bryant or Tom Brady. He's also talking about himself. He's not going to be like Bill Belichick. He's not going to be like Pat Riley. He can't be, because the way that the amount of money that these players make, the coaches are lesser than the players now versus the way that it used to be. You know what I mean? You only see a couple of coaches standing on business. That's Ime Udoka. Those players are on his program. There's a couple coaches where the players are on their program. Rick Carlisle, that team is on his program. Period. They just blew up the team. It's so much so his program. It's not about the players. So it's just kind of like, he's soft. He's a soft ass coach. Pat Riley would never. What he wanted.
I don't think no old school coach would. I mean, my philosophy is what I do. I mean, I like you can't come in and be like, hey, I specialize in the run and shoot offense in football and be like, oh, but we can't run it because I ain't got the right personnel and try to create something else. Hell nah, get me the right personnel.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
they want player coaches. That's what they want. The
Yeah.
player coach is taking over.
Yeah. Jay, final thoughts.
You muted, Jay.
Jay, you muted.
You're muted.
You muted.
You muted on. There you go.
Yeah. Can you?
Yeah, you good
Yeah,
now.
go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, I said let's let the season unfold and see what happens. I think, as I was saying earlier, he took the job, man, thinking it would be one thing, and then something else occurred. And while he's there, he may as well get rich, and leave a legacy. But I think that like his mentor, his coaching mentors, is telling him that if you can win doing something that you don't really believe in, like that's the art of coaching, like. You know what I'm saying? But I know for a fact he want to run a system that looks something like Curry running off screens and high screens and double screens and re-screens, because that's how he got all his money. You know what I'm saying? That's how he played. That's how he would prefer to play. But LeBron too old to run off screens, and Luka loves to run off screens, but
not run off screens. He loves to have one set for him at the top of the key, but he ain't about to run off no screen. He ain't running off no screen off ball. No, he ain't doing that. But who knows?
He like to come around the screen.
Skinny Luka just might
move fast off screens, jog off screens. Put it like that.
Spiritedly walk off screens.
But I think, man, like I said, I think that the Lakers organization is almost at that Jerry Jones level of keep our name in the news and let's make money.
That's a dangerous place to be.